Hello everyone. You join me not only from inside the very large hood of a very large jacket, but in Scotland. So we've come up to the very, very northwesterly corner at Durness. And I'm currently sat on the edge of Loch Eriboll, where I've been told there's a really good chance of some otters, some divers, Great Northern, etc., and possibly an eagle or two, given that the area just to the south of this loch is part of the specially protected area for both species of eagle, the white-tailed sea eagle and the golden eagle. We've been doing a little tour of the west coast of Scotland, a little bit of the NC 500. We did 3 nights on Skye, which was really fun. Unfortunately got washed out, didn't have much wildlife. We did see 2 very large white-tailed sea eagles on the last walk of our trip, pretty much walking back to where we were staying, just saying how, we really hope we see something before we leave. And across the path, literally across the path, flew 2 eagles coming back into roost. I got some really, really rubbish footage of that, but it was really, really rainy, it was dark, it was miserable, so that was the best I could do, I'm afraid, with cold hands and out of the blue. But I'm hoping I can get some otter footage and perhaps some close-up footage of a diver. So let's see. There have been weather warnings all over the country. The Hogmanay has been cancelled in Edinburgh. Loads of New Year's Eve celebrations were cancelled. It's beautiful sun over there. It's beautiful sun over there, but it's miserable rain cloud and snow hitting me currently. So it's actually quite difficult to be prepared. I'm just going to move on for a second and just explore the other end of the lake. So I'm currently, hopefully you can see that, there. This is Loch Eriboll. This is the protected area for the eagles. This is the hopeful otter spot. It looks fantastic all around here. It looks really great for otters, but I'm just going to explore the other side, see if there's any interesting places to pull over, and then maybe see if there's anything interesting just on this edge before we have to drive away from the water itself. But let's have a look. The roads are actually icy up here, which you would not expect given the amount of rain there's been. But it's good fun. It's been a while since I've driven on ice. Be careful not to bin the car into a loch.
This is where the scenery started to get really pretty.
About 1.5 feet deep snow there, but have a look at this. Look at this landscape in this light. It's a shame I'm useless at landscape photography because this is amazing. There's huge, huge mountain over here. I don't know what that's called. Massive rain and snow clouds there, and then this mountain range with this light just behind me. This is awesome.
At this point, it didn't even feel like we were still in the UK. More like somewhere in Canada, the Rockies or Scandinavia. This was perfect. And not to mention the first sighting of one of my target birds, the common merganser, or sometimes called a goose-ender.
So I was just driving up this road here next to this very scenic pair of lakes, and off in the distance I could see two very large raptors, didn't know what they were. Quickly pulled the car over, got the camera out, and it's two sea eagles, one of which had what looked like nesting material in its talons. So I got a really rubbish picture of his arse going that way, but I'm going to hang around a minute and see if they come back, because if that's where they're looking to nest or building to nest, we might get some interesting footage.
I'm about to have an absolute treat here, but quick disclaimer, this was seriously strong wind and it was really hard to even stand up, let alone film smoothly, so go easy on me.
Got a picture of them coming in to drop. I'm using the 2x teleconverter, so it's 800mm. Light's a bit flat, so it's not going to be pretty, but these are really amazing to watch. Look at this. Both of them are right here, hovering in the wind above me. Look at that. We've got to be careful not to fall down.
This was getting pretty special now. Two massive white-tailed sea eagles. At points here they were literally too close to fit in the frame, which is why I'm frantically trying to work out what to do. This was as high pressure as it gets because you don't think it'll happen again.
Yes! It came straight towards me. Straight towards me, hovered too close, 800mm. I cannot believe that. And they were not fussed at all. That's a success, finally. That was so hard, holding the lens vertically in this wind on this big, quite steep hill. But it looks like they're coming back. I could really do with a tripod, but what do? Do I change to a shorter teleconverter? They're just hovering in the wind above that hill.
Even using the car to brace here, I was struggling.
Oh, it's too windy. Ah! This is really difficult, and they've caught me off guard. They've caught me on the hop. It's freezing, it's windy, but they are amazing. They're staying so close to each other. Obviously they're a pair, but they're not going more than about 40 meters from each other, even in the wind.
Just as I start to relax, they come back even closer.
Straight up, never a good angle. I'm so happy. I've just had a look at the photographs from that last stint when they came around, and I'm blown away. I've had a really bad time with photography for the last couple of months. I've been too busy, not had any luck, you know. It just hasn't worked, but I cannot be more happy with those images that I've just got by accident. Wrong teleconverter on, completely, you know, they caught me off balance, they caught me on the wrong foot. But I am staggered, so I've just come down the road a bit further to see if they sweep round here. There was lovely, lovely light a second ago, still is a little bit, but if I can get them again, amazing, but already I'm happy. That was incredible. That was such a good reminder of what makes eagles special. Out of nowhere, suddenly appear the size of me. I'm 6'5", and they were as big as me, and just so powerful. I mean, they've got chests like whiskey barrels.
This was one of those proper pinch yourself moments. Usually when you see eagles like this, they're absolutely miles away and you can just work them out as eagles. They'll be up on a thermal 500 meters off the ground and you can't get a good look at them. So this was really special and a great reminder that if you just have a bit of patience, keep your eyes open and you're prepared to wait, you never know what you might see.
Have a look at this light. This is just perfect. It's been miserable for a couple of days, but look at this.
And with that, it's time to leave Durness and head south to Eriboll. Along the way, the conditions were beautiful but pretty tricky, so it was a very slow drive, but look at some of these. I couldn't help but stop and get the drone out every half an hour almost, because it's not very often you see conditions like these. There are still a few species we haven't seen, and here was our favourite, the otter. It's worth stopping everywhere there's kelp, everywhere there's a coastline you can get close to. It's worth stopping and having a look. This one, to me, initially looked like a bit of rubbish floating around in the surf, but I stopped, had a look through the binoculars, and there he was. It wasn't long before he noticed us and disappeared under the waves, but what a treat. We absolutely love otters, and this was the only one we saw on our trip. If we hadn't seen any more wildlife, I would have been happy with just the eagles and the otters, but there was one Scottish classic we hadn't seen yet, and that was deer. Luckily, on the drive from Durness down to Eriboll, along with the scenery, we saw loads, but also a photography problem. Lenses and cameras now are so good that the AF systems actually pick up snow, sometimes rather than your subject. So if I had done this again, as you can see here the lens just struggling a little bit, I would have stuck to manual focus only. Eriboll was absolutely beautiful, but we didn't have long, and we were treated to one final bird, one that I haven't seen in a while, the tree creeper. Unfortunately, that's all for this time. We had a fantastic trip. I hope you enjoyed coming along with us to Scotland. I've got lots of trips and travels for 2025, so if you did enjoy it, drop a like down below, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you soon. Thanks very much.